Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts news, the good and the bad, and what I believe it means for the series moving forward. So, what I'm seeing is Missing Link died, which kind of sucks. I feel we're looking forward to it. I know I was a little bit because, I wanted my Kingdom Hearts Pokemon Go hybrid. Now, before the body was even cold, from them killing Missing Link, they gave us Kingdom Hearts 4 news. But before we get to that part of the news, I want to talk about why I think that Missing Link getting canceled is unfortunately not the worst thing to have happened. My reasoning here is, we've seen, since the announcement of 4, Final Fantasy VII Remake be officially announced, Parts 1 and 2 come out, an announcement for Part 3, and some of the voice actors, like Clouds, have shown photos of them being in a booth recording. Now, that recording may or may not even be for Final Fantasy VII, but considering that they've admitted that they have a lot of 7 Part 3 ready, I'm willing to bet that if we're probably going to get Kingdom Hearts well after Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. So, since Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced, to probably the time it's released, we're going to get an entire trilogy of a remake. No hate on Final Fantasy VII. That's just the situation we're in. So, with any hope, the team that was working on Missing Link kind of got pulled into the team for Kingdom Hearts 4, and by combining the two teams, we might be able to get it a little earlier. If by getting Kingdom Hearts 4, one can hope. Whether it's copium or not, I don't care. I'm still gonna hope. And as for that Kingdom Hearts 4 news, we actually have 2 different bits of news. So, and some people might be thinking, but they only dropped one thing of news between the 2 Twitters. It's the same screenshots. Well, some people have cutely pointed out that some of the screenshots that they showed in that big photo post are different between the global and the Japanese versions of that post. There's actually 2 differences, but the second one's really minor. We're just going to cover that one first because it's minuscule. I'll show it up here on screen. The screenshot part that has to do with Mickey Mouse being in what looks to very much be Scala Kylum, or something that has taken its structure, which I'm really on team. It's probably Scala, because that just makes sense considering Mickey was told to go to Scala. And then we have a photo of him still in pretty much the same place, but slightly adjusted. So the chances here is that it's just the same spot, but with the photos taken at slightly different frames. Nothing really special there. When it comes to things that are potentially special, though, we do have the primary screenshot and all the other little tidbits here and there. I'm just going to compare the differences first, and then we're going to talk about the other things that I think are pretty noteworthy. So the primary, I guess you could call it the primary screenshot that shows Sora fighting, they're different. They look to be in maybe slightly different locations, and they're very obviously showing off different aspects of the fight. But in both, it looks like he's using the keychain from his Keyblade as a way to attack. Kind of like what we've seen before. Probably a new mechanic, and it might be related to the new build command. We're going to touch on that later. The screenshots look great. I like the lighting that they're using in Quadratum, aka not Shibuya. And the new Heartless, if those are Heartless, look fantastic. Now, I do think they're Heartless of some variety, and that's just how they look in that world. Those weird humanoid looking shadowy creatures, those are shadows. or Neo shadows or some variation of shadow. And that's how they look in Quadratum. They look creepy. They are not how we're used to seeing the Heartless, but we're going to kind of touch on why they might look that way. So, it's great. Sora has some kind of watch. Looks like a smart watch. Some people have been joking that it's actually a Disney band, Disney Magic Pass, which that's hilarious. But no, probably just some kind of smart watch. It's funny because in the Remind DLC when fighting Yozora, in that version of Quadratum that they've given us already, there is a advertisement for a smartwatch. It doesn't look the same as the one we see, but it is there. So it's something to keep in mind when thinking about them. Now for the other parts of that I think are a little more interesting. There's, maybe the least interesting of these is Strelitzia just kind of standing there, looking sad, probably about to drop the biggest info dump that you've ever heard in a video game. Because she's got to catch Sora up on some stuff somehow. I'm willing to bet that she's going to act as kind of your informant when you're in Quadratum. Then there's the telephone, which some people have been confused about. Other people have already figured out the purpose of it, or the potential purpose of it. Some people do believe that it could be a phone that is used to communicate with the dead, which, considering that Sora died and is in essentially hell by being in unreality, this is very possible. So I do think that is something neat. Maybe some form of save point system while you're in Quadratum, if they don't have traditional save points in Quadratum and in Unreality. So it is something to consider and think on. I'm sure we'll understand more of its purpose with either a later trailer or when the game comes out. Either way. And of course, we've already touched on the Mickey probably being in Scala, part of that image that they've put up. No need to cover over that again. It's Scala. We were hopefully going to see it in Missing Link. We saw it in Dark Road. We'll see more of it soon. Before we touch on the bottom left part of that screenshot, I do want to talk about the middle bottom and the bottom right. So bottom middle, honestly, I have no idea what's going on there. It's just really pretty. You know what? That's understandable and valid. It's allowed to just be pretty. Chances are is maybe something having to do with the light. Maybe a hint at something that Sora could do to potentially escape from unreality. Is it likely? Probably not. But it's an idea for now, until we know more. And then there's the bottom right. There's nothing really special about it other than showing off Sora's design and how it's changed since the initial reveal trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4. His necklace isn't as big of a chain, although I think it's a longer chain now. And of course, the actual crown ornament is not as large. Overall, his necklace has gotten what some people have said is a downgrade, and I've seen a lot of people ragging on how Sora looks in Quadratum and how it doesn't look how Sora should, or this or that. Basically, like, that's not my Sora. Something to keep in mind is we've gotten announcements and confirmations before that Sora will reobtain his traditional Kingdom Hearts look when he's in Disney World. Y'all need to remember, this ain't a Disney World. This is Quadratum. Our boy is dead. So he's not going to look like himself when he's dead. Or at the very least in unreality, which can be equated to being dead and being in hell. Like, give the boy a break. Give Square Enix a break. He looks fine. In fact, his hairstyle reminds me more of his hairstyle in Birth by Sleep when he was just a little kid before he took in Ventus's heart, which I think is pretty nice. His shoes have almost no support, though. I'm just going to put that out there. Our boy is used to having holes in his shoes so big you could fit a few hearts in there. And, in case his heart ever ran out of room for all the hearts it was already holding. And, yeah. No, I think he looks fine in his quadratum fit, especially when you keep in mind that it's not going to be his permanent fit. It's only going to be whenever he's in unreality. Now, whether that involves just quadratum or not, we'll see. So, bottom left, which I think is the interesting part of this that I wanted to point out. There's 2 lights heading towards that dark side-esque monstrosity. And that makes me wonder. One could be Sora, launching his Keyblade or something. It's possible. I think another possibility is that it could be a hint of people finally finding Sora. And what they arrive at that point. Because as we saw at the end of Melody of Memories, Riku left for unreality. One of those could be Riku, finally reaching Sora after who knows how long. There's also another potential that I think is interesting to think about. That one of those could be Azora. Now, I'm not sure why they would go that route. Because, him being a secret boss at the end of Remind, but he also seemed to think he was doing something good for Sora. So maybe he's not a bad guy. He's just being misled by something. Wouldn't be the first time we've had a good-hearted, well-meaning person being misled by the actual antagonist. Looking at you, Riku. Looking right at you, Riku. Yeah, that's right. Looking. Everyone's looking. Now, I did say I wanted to talk about that build part of the command menu and how interesting. After doing some research, I couldn't find the post I was about to mention, but I do remember seeing something about someone who supposedly had some leaks for Kingdom Hearts 4 because they'd helped beta test some of the early game builds, some of the dev builds. One thing that they had mentioned was that there was going to be a kind of destroy and build system. I didn't think much of it because, sure, Jan. But seeing that there is a build menu on these screenshots, I'm now much more inclined to think, maybe that was actually leading into something. Now, I couldn't find this leak that I remembered seeing, and I can't remember everything from it. So I can't really talk much on it, much more than just that it did exist and it did mention a build menu. So if anyone else can find it, I would be more than happy to have you bring it up to my attention and I can make another video about it. As for now, I believe we've covered everything that we can when it comes to this news. And with that, the only thing I have left to say is here's hoping we get Kingdom Hearts 4 sometime, maybe next year. I'm not going to be hopeful for 2025. But I am hoping that we get more news about it in 2025. But I'm expecting a 2026 release date because, let's be real, it's not Final Fantasy VII. So Square Enix is putting Kingdom Hearts on the back burner. Hoping everyone, enjoy the screenshots we got. We're going to be seeing more of it this year, I do hope. And if not, well, at least they gave us something. To everyone, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, hey, sorry for cutting the video off and then coming right back. So, there's actually a few things that I forgot to mention. It's not a whole lot, so give me just another moment of your time. Something that is interesting is that in what looks to be a Scala and probably some kind of library where Mickey's at, there is an attack command. I just think that's neat. Now, what this could mean in the grand scheme of things, I've honestly got no idea. Maybe there's Heartless that have invaded Scala ever since the last great Keyblade wielders left, or maybe it's fighting other people who are still there. It's possible that the Keyblade wielders that are still in Scala, if there are any, aren't necessarily the greatest people. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, it's not going to be a full-fledged fighting section, I don't think. Mickey's not allowed to lose. If it was a full-fledged fighting section, that would mean that Mickey could lose. Closest we've seen to him losing in the past is when he gets beat up enough in Kingdom Hearts 2 to say, you know what, I'm done helping you. You have enough. I've helped you enough. Get back up, Sora. So, I don't think it's going to be high stakes. At worst, it's probably going to be oh, you got caught or something, so you have to restart this stealth section. And yeah, I think they're really going to make Mickey be the stealth section. People, you can have your opinions on that. I have mine. They're not the highest because why am I stealthing as a mouse? But again, that's just something I forgot to mention. All right, now I mean it when I say, hope everyone has a great day and stay awesome.